The break between races on this doubleheader Saturday night feels different. It feels historic. Streaming cyberspace into your place from South Boston Speedway, it's the Virtual Grip Network's penultimate round coverage of the Bootleg Racing League's Late Model Invitational Series, Season 30. Milestones in life, it might be a high school graduation, a marriage, a step into parenthood. For baseball, it's 3,000 hits. For basketball, 30,000 points. For a quarterback in the NFL, it's 500 TD passes. Tonight at South Boston Speedway, ticket prices are astronomical. Nevertheless, the stands are full, filled with patrons anxious to see history being made, filled with those who want to be able to say, I was there when. And the when? Well, let me tell you, it's 300 career late model starts, and the man about to do it is Lowell Jewell. Taking a backseat is the championship points race. Gone this week are the hot takes on the last round's results, because top of mind for all is the boss man. The issue was never if, but when. And for those in the bleachers, for those in the booth, and for those watching at home, the question of when has been answered, and that answer is tonight. Indeed, Jewell has stretched his aching muscles. He's loosened his aging joints, polished the tarnished synapses of his brain so that they can fire fast. Yes, he's dragged his lumbering carcass behind the wheel, and tonight, for the 25th time, he brings his late model to Sobo. And what better way to spotlight him gritting up for a 300th career start than to earn his first ever South Boston win. So cherish the memory of pulling the lever on the Lazy Boy and settle in for a moment in time to rival Armstrong's one giant step. Yes, the streets are empty in South Boston for all either are at the Speedway or at home watching VGN, not wanting to miss history. Hello and welcome on this Saturday night, June 7th, 2025, a date to be etched into the annals of bootleg racing. Jeremy Gridlock Scott joins yours truly, Bill Slipson, high in the VGN broadcast booth to bring you our Word's Eye View replay. Ryan Sendeker turning the knobs and pushing the sliders. Okay, Gridlock, I'm going to throw you a curveball here. Take as long as you need to answer this one. But in your eventful life, what's been your biggest life milestone?
Becoming the voice of the Bootleg Racing League on Saturdays has been the light of my life here, and I am so excited to be a part of this historic network and the historic racing series.
All right, tell us a little bit about tonight's track.
Tonight's track is a 0.3 of a mile short track. We saw how tight things were in the modified race. Will we see how tight they can be again? I have a feeling that we might not see as much action early on as we did earlier tonight because the tire models are absolutely different. You heat the tires up in the modifieds, you gotta cool them off a little bit. You destroy the tires here in the late models, as you know, it's just going to be game over once we get past 75 laps into this race.
Should be a good one tonight. We are glad you are with us. This one and one more. We'll bring up the points right now. Not a whole lot to talk about. James Lowe has really been dominant, and he has this thing locked up. He's just trying to see how big he can make it. Yes, it's a 24-point lead, but that's pretty much with the size of these fields being so small. 24 points is larger than if we had large fields because the gap between first and last place not very big. You see them there, Smith and Wilson, Holloway, all the familiar names. Todd List as well. You get down to this one. Here's the man of the night, the man of the hour. It is Lowell Jewell. 299 times before he's gridded up a late model race car. He does it for the 300th time tonight. He's been to this track 24 times before, does not have a win yet. Let's see if we can make it 1 for 25. Behind him, Bruce Pearson, Trey Bloom, who we haven't seen much of late. I hope everything's okay with the caveman. Ruben Altiste, the quiet man, missing here tonight. And then there's the Battle of the Hilberts. 1 point ahead of his big brother Steve is Tom, holding down that final place on the top 10 graphic.
So interesting to see. So we got about 10 seconds left less than 10 seconds left in practice. Checkered flag is out. Going to be interesting to see what happens here as 17 cars have answered the call for tonight's event.
Very good turnout, and all of these are familiar names. We did the SK Modified Series, and we had a few newcomers in there as a couple drivers made their debut series races, but that's not the case tonight. Everybody here tonight, a veteran. And with that said, let's go ahead and tell you how it's going to grid up. It's going to be the Lipper, Chris Hazlip on the pole. He's going to be inside of Jeffrey Kemper. That'll be a fun front row.
And what's interesting is row 2, Mike Holloway and Double Deuce Bruce. He's licking his wounds after the race earlier tonight. See what he can do in this race.
With a reputation to be able to work his way through the field, we saw him do that in the SK Modifieds about an hour ago. Adam Shane won't have to go very far this time. He starts in 5th, flanked by Chris Davis, who's been hot of late.
Take a look at row 4. It's Kurt Smith in the 6th, and Lowell Jewell making his 300 start from the 8th spot.
A lot of veterans going to fill up row 5. The Canadian Goose, John Wilson, and he's going to be inside of Todd Liston.
Joe Segala and James Lowe make up row number 6. Lowe, that healthy points lead.
Not a whole lot to talk about points-wise, but the racing gods have been very kind as they've put the Battle of the Hilberts in the same row. In the bigger son spot is little brother Tom. Outside of him, big brother Steve.
Jason Menda makes his return to late models tonight alongside Steven Spees in row 8.
Spees and then Alan Wanamaker. Watch out for 16th and 17th. A couple of good guys gridding up way in the back. Glad you are with us here tonight. 100 laps, the usual fare here for a Bootleg Racing League event. Got to finish on the same tires you start with. This is big boy racing. If you break it, you bought it.
Pace car coming around for the final time on pace lap, second of 2. Going to be an interesting showing. These cars a little bit more, looks like they could be a little bit more cumbersome there than the SK Modified. So to see what happens here. Glad to have you with us on the Virtual Grip Network as we run 100 laps here at South Boston. Should we go to a green-white checker finish, it'll be one attempt. As the pace car works their way around turns 3 and 4, they'll take the hard left there, and Chris Hazlip has the field. It'll be his start to call, and it is his. Green flag is out, and Jeffrey Kemper tries to go with him, but goes a little high through 1 and 2. It's a double deuce sitting there in 3rd place. 4th, Mike Holloway with another new paint scheme this weekend.
Look for Hazlip and Kemper to race hard early and keep the guys behind them. They got a good starting position. They don't usually race up front. Sometimes they're a little bit of speed challenge, but they're running good right now. Pearson behind them, Holloway, both those drivers very fast.
Adam Shane running down low, trying to keep Chris Davis around. And Davis with a little bit of a wall slap, but he's going to make that happen as those two are still side by side.
Honestly, I think both of those would like to get that sorted out right now. Davis saying, why don't you let me go in front of you? Oh, no! He gets in the wall. They all check up. Somehow they manage to keep going. Davis gets the worst of it position-wise, and now we get a caution. I guess it got him farther back. The accordion
there's our points leader.
Took a little long to Papa, back to James Lowe.
I think it's the second week in a row that Lowe has had some sort of problem on one of the 2 races. We take a look at a replay, see if he does it on his own, if he gets help from the 87. As James Lowe now tail end Charlie bumps. Yeah, he bumps Jewel and then gets bumped by the 87 of Liston.
And Tom Hilbert clips Lowe as he goes by a little bit. That was really a bit of a check up there. Not sure if there's blame to be placed anywhere on that one. Bit of a racing incident.
All right, Super, we call up.
Oh, there's only one person to call in. Let's dial up number 2, Lowell Jewell, and talk to him. I wonder if he even knows how significant tonight is. Lowell Jewell, boy, the talk of this race is all about you. Do you know why?
I have no idea. I bet you're going to tell me, though.
I am going to tell you right now. The ticket prices are astronomical. This is your 300th career late model start.
Oh, that's a lot.
That's a lot of left turns, baby.
I think the fact that Soup could count higher than 10 or 20 or whatever is astronomical. First of all, congratulations on 300. And also, when you listen back, let me know if you need help writing the help wanted ad.
Oh, it's a good intro. He's going to like it. Go get him, buddy.
All right, thank you.
All right, so I think the lights are still on the pace car. Coming across the line And the lights are they out? Yes, they are out. So, Soup, we're going to line them up once again. Let's see if we can get a good restart. Not too bad, but yeah, James Lowe going to have to come from 17th now to get back up to the front or anywhere close to the front. I know that he rued the fact that he had some traffic that he had to get around in the last race. We'll see if he can do it just a little bit better. Chris Hazlip's restart to call once again as the pace car makes the hard left into the pits between those temporary barriers. We're back to green flag racing as Hazlip gets an early jump on Kemper. Kemper trying to see if he can get up to the lead. He's going to stay high, though, and see if that high line can work for him. As we saw in the last race, it worked for some drivers, didn't work for others.
Kemper looking for a hole. It's not there. Pearson tried to cut him off. He's clear, but he just can't. Now he gets down in there, barely.
Top four single file right now is Adam Shea making his way. Oh, man, I'll tell you what, who's had a rough race so far. He's at 88 of Mike Holloway. He's getting roughed up by the 7 of Chris Davis, and we saw him just a little loose just before that yellow, and I think that's what precipitated the spin by James Lowe, which was the contact by the 7 of Chris Davis. So Holloway trying to keep it straight, but man, he's having a tough run in that Slim Chickens Ford.
Started in third. Inside line, and just had no luck of it so far as he's well down the order now, racing in 7th.
Everybody's starting to sort out single file. You see at least up to 8th or single file, but Chris Davis still trying to get around Mike Holloway, and he does for the time being. Around the inside now, Lowell Jewell trying to look on the inside of Holloway. Not going to make that happen, so things are going single file on the James Lowe watch. He's up to about 14th right now as he makes his way around the Chief Tom Hilbert. Now he sets the sights on Jason Menda. And look at this battle here between Joe Segala and Steven Spies for 11th. Segala has it for the time being, but Spies not going to make it too easy. He's going to put up a good defense here.
Speed's a bit of a trophy hunter, doesn't show up regularly, so he's not really in the championship. One point the car gets really loose. Thought he was going to get loose right in front of Jason Menda, but Speeds and Menda coming through the field right now, holding them up. And Segala, not any longer as they get turned. Speeds spinning round and round like a record baby round.
And once again, the 55 gets a little bit of air as we're under caution once again. Here's the replay. As it looks like Speed just goes to the inside and just, I'm not sure if he lost it. I'm just going to say he just came up a little high, didn't realize that Segala was still up there. And those two cars basically going to the back after that incident.
That's a tough one for Segala. I don't know. Car's clearly out in front. He's racing in a straight line. And I'm sure you feel bad about that one. But those apologies can wear out pretty quick. I'll tell you who's not feeling bad right now. It's the lipper, Chris Hazlip. These caution flags are good for him, both him and Kemper.
Yeah, so both will have the front row. Also with the double deuce up in third spot, that's actually not a bad spot for him. He will get the low line, so he might try and go for another pass on Kemper. But nonetheless, it's still 18 laps. Going to be working lap number 19 as we cross the line. As let's see if we get the pace car lights out this time by. But Hazlip and Kemper are still 1 and 2.
So the lights stay on. Let's go ahead and quickly dial up Jeffrey Kemper. Talk to him real quick as we get to go around for another lap and a half. Jeffrey is soup up here in the book, up there in the booth. Restarts, baby. You're able to hang on to that second position, but it's been rough.
Yeah, it's pretty tough on the outside. I think I'm burning my tires up, but I need track position, so I can hold them off on the inside, I believe.
But it seems like you're one of the few who could actually make that high line work, especially at the start of the restart.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit of luck. I don't know. We're going to see what happens here. You guys have a great broadcast.
All right, go get him, man. Kemper has got to pay that tire equity. If he does not get down in front of Pearson, they're gonna freight train him right now. So he knows the number he's got to get down there. And luckily, Hazlip's been getting a good start.
Menda up 4. That's your highest runner so far. Green flag's back out as Hazlip, he gets up there. And yeah, you talk about tire equity. Look who gets that nose up there. It's a double deuce. Bruce Pearson takes the inside, but doesn't hold it for long. It's going to give Kemper a chance to get down low, and indeed he does.
Oh, no, my goodness. That was Pearson getting into him on the outs, coming out of 4. I thought they were going to get turned, but they don't. Great run from Kemper out of 2. He gets the power down. He has Pearson pinned down low. He can't get the momentum. So Kemper able to hold on to that second position. He talked about burning up his tires. Doesn't matter right now. Now he can make them rest a little bit. Pearson in 3rd. Adam Shane, I'm telling you, watch out for this guy. He's not used to racing so far up so early. In 4th, he'll be good. Kurt Smith back in a battle on the inside right now, being challenged on the outside. Who's giving him that hard time out there? Oh, that's Shane, who lost a position.
I was about to say, that's one person who I think is going to be paying that tire equity early on, as Shane sits in 6th place right now, and now he's just getting freight train left and right. He's got to get down just before. Nope, too little, too late. It's listening, gets down to the inside.
Segala finally gives him some room there to get down in there, and that's what Kemper was worried about. Shane started that restart in 4th. He sits in 7th right now. He's on an odd number, so that's the good news, but he's got some ground to make up.
Right now, only one car out so far, and that's Steven Spieth. We are watching this battle for 12th place, 13th, with Alan Wanamaker taking that. He started tail end Charlie, and now he's making his way up 4 spots to 13th. He's got Jason Menda next on his hit list. Here comes Joe Segala as he tries to get around the 52 of Steve Hilbert once again. So the brothers Hilbert, they're near the back of the pack, but nonetheless, so far they are still holding steady, holding station as we work 27.
Hilbert's very familiar with each other. And as the race goes on, I expect both of them to get familiar with the outside wall.
We saw how that happened last time, watching this battle also for the 10th spot between Mike Holloway and Lowell Jewell. Remember, Lowell held the points lead for a couple of races earlier on in this season. Still, so a good steady run for the number 2. It's not too far behind as a 45 of Jason Menda.
We came into round number 3, and who was sitting at the top of the points? It was the boss man. Got everybody's hopes up until, well, reality set in. Right now, the boss man racing in 11th spot, right behind the 88. We're right on board with Pearson. Looking up at Kemper.
Double deuce running good, and what's interesting is Kemper running a higher line through 1 and 3. It's going to through 3. Yeah, he's running a little bit higher line. Comes down almost, I wouldn't say he's diamonding the corner, but he's really treating it as if it were a road course, coming high, going down the apex, and then going back high a little bit later in the 2 and 4 combo areas. And that's given Pearson a chance to kind of close in on those entries, but lose some ground on the exits.
Yeah, that might be the fastest way for Kemper to get around, but it might be the most precarious, as it is just teasing Bruce Pearson to stick a nose down in there. And once Pearson gets to the inside, it'll be hard for Kemper to hang on to that second position, but they race good right now. A little battle farther back. Talk about looking to the inside. Chris Davis getting to the inside of Kurt Smith. And if I didn't have enough inside line, maybe I'll push over a little bit, get a little more room for myself.
It's Strubbins racing. Nothing wrong with that. It's no harm, no foul. Both cars pointed straight forward after that little ta-ta-ta. As we take a look at the speed camera coming off of turn number 2. Surprise, surprise. Looks like the number 99 in 9th has a little bit of bent up right front. That seems to be the modus operandi for James Lowe here the past couple of races.
7 continuing to work. They've got to get this sorted out. They're costing each other tire equity right now, burning up the rubber as they continue to race hard. They're having fun, but they're paying a price.
And of course, the one sitting pretty is the one we're on board with right now. John Wilson, as he's watching these two just burn up those tires. And, you know, he wants them to do that so that way he can easily get around the two of them. And I've noticed, too, the past couple of corners, that Bruce Pearson actually following the line of Jeffrey Kemper. So that's going to be another storyline to watch out for as we go through the middle part of this race. But Wilson watching Smith and Davis just burn up them tires. I'll come bite them later, I bet.
John, the championship has been decided. We're all here just to watch Lowell Jewell. Go ahead, make it 3 wide, baby. Stick it in there. Show them how to do it.
I'll see what happens here. I mean, it's going to be very, very going to be tighter than you ever think going 3 wide. Actually tighter than some construction zones I've driven through the past 24 hours. But, yeah, Wilson just biding his time. Oh, a little bit of a sideways slide from Steve Hilbert. Possibly got a little bit of a hip check there from Joe Segala. And now the brothers Hilbert have to get on to Segala, but Wanamaker up 5 spots, gets around Mike Holloway, who is falling down. May have an ill-handling race car, but nonetheless, he sets the sights on Jason Menda.
All right, these attention hogs right here, as they will continue to race side by side. We've covered 2 other passes while these guys continue to do this. The Goose back there saying, come on, let me in here. Good run from the 6, coming off a 2. Cialis bathtubs through 3 and 4. This is romantic racing right now.
You know, if these headlights weren't decals, I'm sure John Wilson will be flashing them like a sports car driver trying to get around GT traffic, because this has just been a lap-by-lap battle. Bruce Pearson with the slide, and that's it. That's it for Pearson. Yellow flag is out, as it looks like that the 8 is also involved of Jeffrey Kemper.
Pearson was trying to get around Kemper, did not have the patience that John Wilson was showing, and those 2 spin off. Ouch!
Oh, and look at the Canadian Goose also sends a 7 to Chris Davis up the wall.
Side by side, when you're side by side and somebody spins in front of you, that's a recipe for problems. Davis gets on the binder, and Wilson has nowhere to go. I'm not even sure Wilson knew there was something happening in front of him.
Well, Chris Davis is singing some Alan Jackson here with Tonight I Climbed the Wall, but he is actually into the pits now. Holloway and Davis, who were, I think Holloway was involved in that, but they're in the pits now. Holloway back out.
Tonight I climb. I'm writing this down. Got to do a little research. The wall. Okay. Spotify, don't let me down there, baby.
I've got to say this. Chris Davis looks like some of the stock cars I saw at the IMS Museum a couple of weeks ago. I showed my wife that, and I go, yes, this is how they race. And she goes, really? Yeah. They race with the curve. Downforce, baby.
Do they have the stock cars like on a separate floor at IMS? I hope like shove them in the corner somewhere. I don't.
It's in the core. They've like 3 or 4 of them. I know they've got Harvick's. Right. I'm not going to spoil it. Just trust me. Go to the museum. It is so cool.
I've seen that they've updated it. It looks amazing.
Oh, it was amazing. Let's just say that I found out that should this broadcasting gig not work, I can actually change a tire in about 6 seconds.
Okay, good to know.
Lights are out of the pace car. Hazlip and Smith will make up row 1. Wilson and Shane row 2. Todd Liston, James Lowe make his way up to 6th place. As we'll see if Smith is going to get aggressive here and try and get that lead. But we know how good Hazlip is on restarts, and once again he shows it to us. Green flag is back out. Kurt Smith going to try and dive deep into the bottom, but the Canadian Goose, John Wilson, going to get a nose in there as he works his way around Adam Shane. Shane's going to lean on him through turn number 3, but Wilson able to use that bottom line advantage to stick it in the 3rd, but not for long.
I think all the nonsense between Smith and Davis is really probably going to hurt Smith as far as how much tires he has left back there. Remember, the Canadian Goose was just watching that. Now rolling on the top. Outside of the Goose, that is Adam Shane. He was farther up. He lost some spots. He's making them up right now. Stuck on the outside. We've seen Davis run up there for a long time. He might be able to pin Wilson behind the car in front, which is Smith. Not sure the pace that Smith has.
Well, we're past halfway. I shouldn't say it's still early, but especially so Smith with that race with Chris Davis could have burned up a lot of tire equity. By the way, Chris Davis with the fastest lap of the race so far with a 15.121, as now more tire equity being burned up to Wilson and Shane. You also have the 7 of Chris Davis, a couple of laps down, but still no, he's on the lead lap. I'm sorry, I can't count. I can't read either, which is kind of imperative for this job, but Chris Davis, Bruce Pearson making amends for 14th place, but still you have the Canadian Goose and Adam Shane there. Shane, one of the rare passes on the high side.
Yeah, you know, the drivers are putting on a good show, but maybe the star of the show right now, South Boston Speedway, my goodness, inside, outside, I'm not sure what's the preferred line. They seem pretty easy right now. Out in front the whole way, the Lipper. 54 laps race, 54 laps out in front. He comes across. Let's make it 55. Well done, number 93.
Yeah, so far so good. He's holding off Kurt Smith. Adam Shane, though, going to be interesting to see how much of his tire equity that he has burned off. That number 79 looking so slick tonight as he's working his way around to try and catch up to that battle for the lead. Right now, less than a car length separate Hazlip and Smith for first and second.
Partner, do we need to pay attention to James Lowe? Is that somebody that is going to be... I hate to write him off. I've done it too many times, and right now, he's in sixth. Who knows?
Let me see what his lap times are. He might be somebody to watch out for, but then again, you got to look at who's in front of him. Liston, Wilson, and Shane. Those three are going to take a while to get to. If this race stays the way it is, it may not be James Lowe's night once again. Here comes the 88 of Mike Holloway with a battle around Bruce Pearson. So Bruce Pearson, the last car on the lead lap, and really still running. As we started 17, 16 are gone. Your provisional pole sitter right now as they run is the 25 of Tom Hilbert for next weekend at New Smyrna.
There's good racing all through the pack. And up front, Kurt Smith is beginning to put the pressure on the lipper.
Oh, of course, he's putting the pressure on the lipper because Adam Shane's putting the pressure on Smith.
Here he comes.
So there we go. Yeah, three-car battle for the lead. It's Hazlip, Smith, and Shane. 1, 2, 3. Sitting back pretty also as interested spectators are Wilson and Liston. Hazlip tries to go a little high, and the Smith almost took a look there. Not going to make it happen here as this battle for the lead just heats up. We see how much faster Shane is through the corners, and I think the second he gets a nose in there, it's going to be game over for the rest of the field.
You want to talk about dedication to a series? This is Kurt Smith's, I'm going to give you a number, 47th consecutive without a miss late model race.
That's fantastic.
That is something.
Real quick, I noticed something on the timing sheets that we missed on the track. Lowell Jewell got around James Lowe for position.
Yeah, I think that answers a couple questions. Lowell Jewell looking for a top 5, and maybe James Lowe's car not feeling as healthy as it should be.
Yeah, it looks like that right front really beat up more than it normally is because that tire is showing. So right past there by our boss man, Lowell Jewell. Maybe we'll get lucky and get an extra 50-cent bonus in our check this week for that pass and showing the replay.
That'll help to make up the fee on the... Hey, he's back! There he is.
Yeah,
Chris
he's coming.
Davis.
And Jeff Kemper side by side for position. Tire equity, not a big deal here as those two are mired back in the pack as Davis has the nose out front, but Kemper goes high, wide, and handsome. Not too far away from there's Tom Hilbert. He wants that 13th spot back to get on the front row, but the 8th with a little bit of a wall slap as Hilbert trying to hold off Mike Holloway as well.
All right, let's go up front. There we are. Smith on Hazlip. Two veterans. Hazlip doing everything to make his car as wide as possible. Racing like a kidney stone is Chris Hazlip. Hard to pass right now. Smith might have got a little bit of the outside wall, and both these guys are feeling the pressure from Adam Shane.
And we've seen 70 laps in the lead for Hazlip so far as he has led from the drop of the green flag. But I've got to say this, Kurt Smith trying to be patient, waiting for that right opportunity, hoping to push Hazlip into some sort of mistake. Little wiggle there by the 75 of Wilson, coming off the 4.
It's a 4-car battle up front. Lord help me, I'm going to give a little racing advice to Kurt Smith. I think Kurt needs to back off a little bit, see if he can get a little bit more momentum coming off the corner like this, and then go. But nope, not going to work.
Well, it's not going to work, but we see that back end kicking out ever so slightly on the 93. You're on board with Kurt Smith as they work their way around working lap 74. So almost 3/4 of the race left to go here at quarter race left to go, I should say. So we've run 3/4 of the race. So help me if I can't do math tonight. I don't know what's wrong with me. But nonetheless, I know it's not wrong with Chris Hazlip. He's working so good around here. And of course, here's the question I have, Soup. When does the tire drop-off begin?
Well, you would think it would happen for Smith before Hazlett, because Smith had that lap after lap after lap battle with Davis before they got caught up in the yellow that came out right now. Smith has been all over, and Kurtz just gave Hazlett the last lap a little bit of a hello, just let him know that he's there. Hazlett right now, smooth as dolphin skin, hitting every mark, making it impossible for Smith to get around. Smith also worried because then there's back there is Shane. If Shane can get to the inside, Smith's going to lose that position. That's why a 3-car battle is so much more interesting than a 2-car battle.
Yeah, look at this on the
Here he
high
goes.
side. That's A7 to listen, trying to go around the high side. And here comes Adam Shane on the inside, trying to get that second place. He's had enough of Smith playing around and trying to get to that lead, but the only person that's going to help is the 93 of Shane.
Oh, they get together. Oh, and getting in, that's the goose that gets into the back of Smith as he got together with Shane.
So Shane's great run comes to an end with 22 laps to go. Let's see what happened here.
And I thought Shane was going to get by. As you watch this, I thought he was just going to turn Smith, but Smith, in an act of vengeance, was able to stick his butt out there and catch Shane and loop him around as they go by. So both those guys will go back to the back. Wilson caught in it as well. And my goodness, Chris Hazlett, well, there's another guy going to threaten you now. This time you're going to have to deal with Todd Liston as he moves into second. Who's in third in position to vulture a win? It's the boss man, Lowell Jewell.
So many good storylines here. You've got obviously Hazlett, who's led from the green flag. Liston trying to break the curse that new dads are slow and can't win. And Lowell Jewell trying to get his get a win here in his 300th start. James Lowe, he's up to 8th, but he's still falling back. Something's got to be wrong with that 99 there.
Well, should we ask him to find out? I think we probably have time.
Why not? We got time.
Go ahead, you take it.
Hey, James, it's Jeremy and Soup up in the booth. So normally we see your right front just a little bent up during the races. A little bit more so. Is that affecting your handling?
Oh, yeah, she's destroyed. I'm surprised I was able to get up there as high as it did. Yeah, I got no tires left. And it's pushing like a dump truck, but, you know, we'll see how it goes here.
All right, the championship is locked up for you. Just see if you can get yourself a good finish. Congratulations. We'll see you down the road.
Appreciate it.
James Lowe. A little bit discouraged. All right,
Yeah,
boys and girls. Hang on a second. Lowell Jewell is going to be starting inside of row 2. If he gets to the inside of Liston, then he'll be behind Chris Hazlett. Now, talent-wise, Hazlett, Jewell, they pretty much are equal. This could be fascinating. And I tell you right now, if Lowell Jewell steals a win, I'm announcing my retirement tonight from simulated race commentary.
Well, the good news is I've got plenty of backups should this happen. Pace car comes off. Chris Hazlett, Todd Liston, your front row. Green flag is back out once again. Hazlett gets a good run, but Liston, he's going to go a little high. Jewell and Menda, they battle side by side for that third spot. Give Jewell the spot for now, but Liston going to go down into the inside and get back on that low line.
Jason Menda, will you let the boss man go so he can challenge these guys up in front? Boss man, give him a little bit of a hit check. Get Menda out of there. Meanwhile, the battle up front. Working the outside is Liston. Can he make the top side work? Sobo says there's a possibility. We like drivers who want to try the top. Liston gets a little bit loose. No momentum that time, but he's able to hang in there. Takes him through 3 and 4. The 87
Whoa.
tried to work the top. Go.
Almost 3 wide there for the lead as Menda trying to poke a nose in there, but he's going to think better of it and go for third place as the boss man sits in fourth. I saw a blue car up high in 1 and 2. We'll keep an eye on that. But look at this, Jason Menda. It's like he's been shot out of a cannon as he battles for second.
And to do what he does, we have a caution.
Oh, and it's Wilson with the spin off of turn 4. He shortened that car up just a little bit. Let's see what happens. As he comes around, it looks like, yep, it's the 8 of Kemper who is involved in that crash as well. So Kemper not having a good night here.
Well, does Hazlett want that caution flag? probably would have let the tires cool down a bit. Menda was coming. Now you'll have Menda pinned to the outside. Oh my goodness, this is all about the restart.
We have Menda the inside. Yeah, you have Menda the inside now.
Oh, Liston is still out there, yeah.
Yeah, Liston in second. So, and Liston was able to make that highlight work using some Gas City Speedway magic there.
Alan Wanamaker up into 5th. All hearts, the entire fans here, though, are standing right now. What they are doing, they are holding an index and a middle finger in the air, signifying 2. That's not a peace symbol. That's a Lowell Jewell go get 'em symbol.
We'll see what happens. He is starting on the high line in row number 2. Lights still on the pace car. We have all 16 cars on the track, Super, still on the lead lap.
John Wilson managed to stay there, last on the lead lap in 16th.
Looks like we're going to start to form up here as cars going to the outside, so we'll most likely get that 1 to go signal here this time by as we look at the pace car. Indeed, it's still, yes, now it is 1 to go at the line.
Hayslip has had it his whole way, the whole race. Out there in front. He's won every restart. Listen to his outside. The outside line have been very good. Don't be surprised if Menda doesn't give Hayslip a little bit of a hello.
Let's see if Menda has anything for him. Let's go down. The pace car's in the pits. And Hayslip was anticipating that green flag is out, but look at that. Liston, he's hanging tight, still side by side for the lead, but a car is out front, and that's the 93 of Hayslip. Here comes Menda in the 45, though.
Menda and Liston fighting for it. It's the best thing that could happen right now to Hayslip. Lowell Jewell says, come on, guys. I can make history here if you give me some room. Let me get up there and race Hayslip. I got enough for that guy, maybe not enough for you two. They can't get there. They work another lap. Lap number 95.
I'll tell you what, Menda's car is hooked up. Ooh, a little bit of a wall tap from Liston, but it looks like Jewell's going to go to the inside, and he's going to keep the 87 of Liston up there. Hayslip's opening up all sorts of gaps as we're working 5 laps to go. Look at who's also back there as well. It's Wanamaker. Wanamaker with a good showing so far. As Jewell gets a nose of the inside, he's going to sit there and take 3rd place.
He has 3rd place, and he finishes with 3rd place. Dropping like a pigeon is Liston. They get together. Does he save it? Yes. Wanamaker turns him. Liston gets loose. And a caution comes out.
Oh, so this is an unrelated we're hearing with Segala having the incident. Let's see if we can get a replay on that. And here it comes. Segala on the high side touches, looks like a little incident with Adam Shane. And James Lowe, yeah, Adam Shane, James Lowe, just the meat in the sandwich.
I think that was a little bit of a psychic accordion effect back there. They saw the trouble that was going on up front, and I think everyone kind of felt it. And James Lowe involved in that one too. All right, Hayslip out in front, but now it shakes up the order again. This time Menda to the outside. Menda to be fast enough maybe to make Hayslip work hard. That's going to allow Lowell Jewell inside of row 2 to be behind the leader's bumper. A little bit of a suggested racing line perhaps from the 2. 3 wide finish at the end. First win for Lowell Jewell in 25 attempts. Oh, I can see the writing on the wall. It's right there. If the guys will just read the script.
The 99 goes around the pace car to get his lap back, and now slows. Kind of interesting. We might have a problem with our points leader, as we will most likely go to our one and only green-white checker attempt. This is interesting. We haven't had that many this year, and now we get set back. Did the steward say he jumped it too early?
Lowell Jewell's so used to being right behind the pace car on restarts at the end of the race, just didn't feel comfortable. I think the 99, the car just wouldn't go around the pace car thinking, no, boss, this is wrong.
Well, we'll see what happens. We're on the front row. Hazlip and Menda, Jewel and Wanamaker. Wanamaker with a good showing so far. He's up 13 spots so far tonight. Pace car getting set. Again, we are on the green-white checker. Lap 101 will be in the books when we cross the line. Green flag is out, and Chris Hazlip has a nose up front, but Jason Menda going to try and make something happen on the high line. Lowell Jewell is in third should something happen to the two of them. And it's going to be very tight for the battle for the win. And that's it. That's it. The race is over. Hazlip won, and Lowell Jewell gets second place in his 300 start as the 45 of Jason Menda spins off turn 4.
So close. So close.
Oh my, the 75 of Wilson on the pit wall parked on the very top. We'll get a replay here for you shortly, but it's a flag-to-flag victory for the 93 of Chris Hazlip, as he is your winner tonight here at South Boston Speedway. Wow, what a finish.
Lowell Jewell one position away from winning. We look at the caution that ended the race.
Oh, so it looks like that Kemper got into Smith, and then that's when just calamity corner happened. Soup, I'll let you analyze.
That's a result of only one more race to go in the season, and we're on a green-white checker, and we're just having fun there. The goose going over the wall. And with that said, the Lipper picks up a rare win for him. Lowell Jewell finishing second, one position away from ending my sim racing broadcasting career. But I live on! Todd Liston will finish third. We'll take a short break, come back, and talk to the guys up front. It'll be fun before we put a lock on the gate. Don't go far. You're watching the Virtual Grip Network. Welcome back to South Boston Speedway and Virtual Grip's penultimate round coverage of the Bootleg Racing League's Late Model Invitational Series, Season 30. The results are in. Let's give them to you now. Cannot wait to talk to our race winner. He went wire to wire. We're talking about the Lipper, Chris Hazlip. Well done for him. He'll have a lot to say. We'll have a lot to tell him. How about this? The man of the night was Lowell Jewell, making his 300th career start. He came so close to picking up his first career win here at Sobo. He'll have to settle for second. Todd Liston will finish in third. Back half of your top 10, back the top 5 is Alan Wanamaker and Chris Davis. Wanamaker with a very quiet fourth place finish. Rounding out your top 10, Steve Hilbert, Bruce Pearson, Jeffrey Kemper, who led for a while up front there. Mike Holloway didn't lead, but was up racing up front for a while. Mike Holloway and Joe Segala. Partner?
Rounding out your field, it's Tom Hilbert in 11th, 12th. Jason Menda. Kurt Smith will be your pole sitter next week at New Smyrna Speedway with a 13th place finish. That's James Lowe, John Wilson, Adam Shane, and Steven Spees rounds out your field.
With that, let's go ahead and talk to our race winner, the driver of car number 93. It is Chris Hazlip. Chris, tonight you made your 75th career late model start, the 25th driver to do so. And to top it off, you pick up your first late model win.
Thanks, Soup. It was definitely exciting. And to be honest with you, my front right tire was burnt off. Those guys were awful kind behind me, just a little tap, and I'd been up the track.
Restart after restart after restart, you were able to hold them off, and they were different comers each time.
Yeah, I kind of decided when I was in second gear on a restart, each time I restarted, I was going to pick a different spot in the starting zone and go into third immediately. And it seemed like it gave me enough speed going down in the corner. And the toy maker late model was sticking in the corner, so I just drove it in deep.
Some wires to wires are they look so easy. This one, boy, you had to earn it. They were on you every lap, and they raced you clean. They raced you fair, but they raced you hard. Congratulations on the win. Well deserved.
Thank you, Soup, and I'll thank you guys in the booth. Thanks, Ryan. Also, thanks to Lowell and all these guys that helped me all the time. I'm definitely not the fastest one out here. They were very kind. I know they knew I hadn't been up there much, but Todd Liston and so many others have been kind to help me through. Jason was awful kind behind me, and it's fun to win one, but I tell you what, it is hard to win the thing. I thought I was going to pass out.
Well, everyone's happy. Nobody's sad that Chris Hazlip finally got a win. Well done, baby.
Thanks, Soup. I appreciate it, buddy.
93, the Lipper, Chris Hazlip, picks up his first career win in his 75th try. All right. Gridlock, who you got?
I got the boss man, Lowell Jewell, race number 300, second place. Oh, so close to that top spot.
That was close and a little exciting.
I was going to say, yeah, a lot of great battles there. You had Jason Menda up there, Todd Liston, a lot of great fast cars, but still nonetheless a great showing for race number 300. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
And let's talk about what's going to take to race the next 300 races as well.
I don't know. I'm getting a little over this stuff. Me and Hazlip, that was so exciting. I think we both, being old guys, might have soiled ourselves on that last lap.
Soup, you got anything to say?
No, I think that says it all.
I've left Soup speechless. Wow.
You've left Soup speechless. Congratulations on that alone. I think that should be celebrated as a win.
Thanks. Sorry, Soup.
Well done. The boss man, Lowell Jewell, with the second place finish. I hope he enjoys the intro for tonight's event. All right, with that, we get to talk to Todd Liston. Todd, so close, just not enough there at the end, and then a little trouble cost you position. Whoops.
He's speechless.
Hang on, Todd. You muted? We've talked to... Yeah, you know what it is? Todd's got a new baby, and it's just he's so discombobulated from all the nonsense going on from having an infant. What he'd like to say is, Soup, of all the commentators I've ever seen on Do Sim Racing, you're one of the best of them, and I love the way that you work with your partner, Gridlock Scott, and Ryan Senator does a good job. Well, thank you, Todd. I appreciate that. We hope to keep it up. Thanks for watching. With that said, our broadcast is done. Let's go ahead and see when we can do this again. It's going to be, well, come on, you guys can all read. Look at that. We're going to Michigan's Martinsville. We're going to be going to, go to Mike Holloway Speedway. Not sure where that is. Mid-Ohio Sports Car Club, New Smyrna, a couple times there in Thompson Speedway. Congratulations to the Holloway family for getting in on that. With that said, oh, that's Virtual Eclipse Weekly. That's who Holloway will be good. You don't want to miss that. Now I understand what that is. All right, come on, Sue, pay attention. That's on Tuesdays as well. You know what? I shouldn't be doing this. When the policy was that my partner was going to close us out, I always forget. With that said, on behalf of all the little faces you see there right now, thanks for watching. We'll try to do better next time. Until then, have fun storming the castle. We're out.